kicking off the news with an odd story that most people missed, on Monday night, Prince played what may be the strangest live show ever in Chicago. After playing on his heart-shaped stage for nearly 2 hours, the Purple One smiled, waved, and walked off. As is usual at concerts these days, the lights stayed down after he left the stage for what's become an almost required encore. But a half hour later, with Prince yet to reappear, the house lights came up to a massive round of boos from the crowd. While I can't really fault Prince for not playing an encore, keeping the crowd waiting that long is just rude. But this story actually gets stranger. About an hour after the lights came up, or 90 minutes after the show formally ended, Prince did come out, and he played 2 more songs for the handful of fans who, for whatever reason, hadn't left the venue yet. While some may see it as clever, at the price the tickets for Prince's concerts are going for, it's absolutely rude and little more than Prince flexing his ego, and someone needs to remind the guy that his fans are what makes him. And for those of you looking to check out the Melvins on their current record-breaking 51 shows and 51 dates tour, the shows will go on, but the record will not be broken. Because new facts have come to light, and if they want to break the record, they're gonna have to do 51 shows in 49 days. Back in 1980, before they hit it huge, George Thorogood and the Destroyers actually did 51 shows, hitting every US state and Washington, D.C. in only 50 days. So this time around, no record is to be had, but the Melvins still put on one of the best shows on the planet. So if they're coming to a city near you, do your ears a favor and check them out. And in one of the rare moments that I will mention this group in a positive light, it was revealed earlier this week that the 2 members of Insane Clown Posse have filed a lawsuit against the FBI in the wake of their fan base being labeled by that body as a gang. On their website, ICP noted that this is the first time in history that a music group's fan base has been labeled as a gang, which for the record is completely wrong. It's happened a number of times over the years. But at the same time, the 2 want the classification removed as they feel it is unjust in this case. Whether or not they succeed in this lawsuit, which to be completely honest, it's very unlikely they'll find any success, the fact of the matter is, it's always good to see musicians standing up for their fans. And in other news, in case you thought that the days of desecrating classic albums were over, fear not, because the often space cadet-like Macy Gray will be releasing her next album at the end of October, and it's a reimagining of Stevie Wonder's classic record, Talking Book. Let me just call this what it is. She's covered the album in its entirety, adding absolutely no new material. Apparently, we've hit the point in music that when an artist can't come up with their own songs to release, they decide to put out an entire album of somebody else's music. Some might call this a cash grab, but for me, I see it as nothing short of musical sacrilege. And finally, while many people thought the big story was Fiona Apple getting arrested on charges of hash possession in Texas earlier this week, to anybody who saw her statements the night after on a stage in Texas, that was the real story. As she's done many times before, Fiona went on at length, quickly confusing the crowd with a rather cryptic message. She said that a handful of officers mistreated her while she was in jail, and that she took notes and made a report on all of their incidents, but to be sure that they wouldn't be able to catch her and correct her, she tore it up. She said that sometime soon she's going to decode the message and expose the officers in question. Referring to the torn up report as having them in lock boxes or holding cells, her entire tirade was just bizarre, but thankfully, some fan caught it on tape and they put it on YouTube. I've linked it below so you can check it out yourself. You're welcome. So that's the news for this week. Be sure to check back here every Friday so you're always the first to know, and be here every day for all the music news, reviews, and knowledge you'll ever need.